I just found something absolutely fascinating. This is going to be a big part of our lives, and I do not know how to handle it. So I was just on Blue Sky, and I tweeted about how I think that we've all sort of headed over to Blue Sky thinking, oh, I've been tired of the way that Twitter is. I'm going to go to Blue Sky thinking it's just like basically a Twitter replacement. But of course, it is much more than that. And I'll explain this more in a future video, I think. But basically, the idea is instead of having the platform and the protocol be the same thing, you split those things out. You say, okay, here is the platform, that's Blue Sky. And then there's a protocol called @proto, I think is what it's called. And that's like how you have Hotmail and Gmail and and Yahoo Mail, all the other mails. And then underneath that, there's a protocol that they all use and they're interoperable between the services. And Twitter functions like the protocol and the platform are the same thing. And Blue Sky functions like they are different things. And that's a big deal. And it changes how things are going to be. Like you can buy Blue Sky the same way that Microsoft bought Hotmail, but nobody can buy email. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he bought Hotmail and email. He bought the thing and the protocol. If you bought Blue Sky, there would still be @protocol running underneath it. And that could be then used by any number of other people to build a client on top of it that would let you see all of this stuff. Like you can go right now and look at the Blue Sky fire hose. This is available for everyone to do whatever they want with. And you could take this and you could build a platform on top of it that just put all of this stuff into a thing that you could create a follow graph. You could port follow graphs from one place to another. You could move accounts from one place to another. This is happening all the time behind the scenes and it's all public, which I don't think people get and has all kinds of implications, but that's not what this video is about. So hopefully that did not overwhelm you too much, but that's what Blue Sky looks like behind the scenes. But what I actually want to talk about was this. So I tweeted about this. The goal of Blue Sky is to decentralize the social internet so that every individual controls their experience of it rather than having it be controlled by 5 random billionaires. Everyone thinks they signed up for a demuskified Twitter. We actually signed up for an exciting and bizarre experiment. And I kind of tweeted this because I wanted to understand the extent to which people understood this, but also to get some feedback on my perspective here to try to challenge that a little bit. And I got someone challenging my perspective. It's Flower Garden, who says this is a concerning misrepresentation of Blue Sky's intentions. Decentralizing the internet doesn't necessarily mean individuals control their experience, but rather that companies like Twitter don't have a stranglehold on the platform. This oversimplification undermines the complexity of the issue. Now, I thought this is kind of a weird way to tweet that, but that's interesting enough for me that I'd like to hear more from this person. So I replied, can you tell me more about what you think I misrepresented? And they didn't reply for a while, and that makes sense. And then I came back thinking, oh, maybe that person replied, and they didn't. And I was like, well, okay, let's check out their account. Let's go to see who they are. They have 23 followers, and they're following 12 people, and they're a passionate dog trainer and rescue advocate, and they say, hi, Dog Twitter, excited to join this amazing community of dog lovers, forever learning from the unconditional love of dogs. Normal, pretty normal, a little weird, pretty normal replies from this person. Thread, we're on Team Joe, do whatever the fuck you want. I disagree with the implication that Joe Biden is a wild card who can disregard the law. As president, he has a responsibility to uphold the Constitution. Star Wars did give us a slur for robots, clankers, but I don't use it because you don't want to have to look a robot in the eye in 50 years and be like, you don't understand, it was a different time. That's a funny tweet. I disagree with this perspective. A slur is a derogatory term regardless of the context in which it originated. My tweet, that's a concerning misrepresentation. This tweet, not for nothing, but the blowback season on the Korean War was great. I strongly disagree. Best supporting actor, Kieran Culkin. I strongly disagree. While this intention is laudable, simplistic solutions, that's a ridiculous interpretation. I'm skeptical about this sudden change. I disagree. I strongly disagree. That's not entirely accurate. This is a bot account that's using ChatGPT or some large language model with the prompt, disagree with stuff. And I fucking walked right into it. I was like, this is a weird thing. Like, I actually think you're wrong. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And they're getting lots of engagement. That's not, the wage increase is likely led to significant job losses and price hikes as the industry struggled to absorb the added costs. Reply. Engagement. What is the point, dog lover? What are you trying to do? Flowergarden.bluesky.social. And for how long am I going to be able to even tell the difference? Like if it hadn't been that consistent and if it was a little bit better. So the question is going to move from what can we do about this, which is nothing. So like there will be people out there pretending to be people and we will not be able to tell them apart from real people. Maybe there's something we can do about that, which would be like a sort of curated blue sky whitelist that is definitely true humans, that is proved to be humans in some very true and clear way. But I don't know that that's the good solution to the problem, because there are reasons why people would want to be anonymous on the internet. And maybe you can disentangle those things, but I don't know. I think that the bit bigger thing is like, what's the incentive for doing this? And how do you turn off that incentive? And I can't figure out what the incentive for doing it is. And so I don't know how to turn down the incentive. Give me in the comments some ideas for what you think the point of this is. Is it to build an account that has like a history and some followers so that it can then be used to spam? And if the price of doing that is so low that all you need to do like is nothing. I mean, I guess you just like turn this program on and you have to have like an instance of a large language model running, but maybe that's fairly inexpensive now. And so now you could just like, maybe this costs like 12 cents a year to run. And then if you can at one point flip it to become a spam account or an influence account, or is it just like So Discord? Is it just being run by some organization that would like to create more Discord in the English-speaking world and is like, let's just sort of fill all social media platforms up with bots that are designed to disagree and to increase disagreement? I could honestly see that. I don't see that with this because it's not mean enough. Like if it were meaner, or maybe it just like starts nice and becomes meaner over time. But this is so good at that it is really making me think if there's somebody out here on the internet that's making me mad, there is a high probability that that's not even a real person and that it is indeed like, what's the incentive? The only incentive is like, take up my time, distract me, and make me have less faith in my society and fellow people. So like that really is a strong push toward block if people are being disrespectful. Not if people are disagreeing, but if they're being like, if they're like enraging me. And then that is also like an incentive toward creating whitelists or really robust block lists of people like this. But honestly, it feels more like a whitelist than a block list problem, because if it costs nothing to have this kind of activity, I just don't think it costs much. I think it's on the order of dollars, like single dollars per year to run an account like this. So I don't know why they wouldn't do it. And that's something that like a Blue Sky like protocol would allow. It would allow some people to sign up for only the internet that is definitely real humans, if that's what you would prefer. And I think that's maybe what a lot of people would prefer. All right, this is the video. I'm going to go play Connections, everybody. Let's do that. I haven't played Connections yet this morning, but I need to tell you about something else real quick. And yes, I have changed shirts because I just went to the gym and I'm cutting this in later. This video is brought to you by Complexly.Store, which is a place where you could go to buy a bunch of cool stuff and also support the work that we do at Complexly. Complexly is a company that makes educational online video, and we give it away for free. None of our videos are put behind a paywall, and we believe that is the right way to do things, but we do need to make money somehow. It is not a particularly easy business to run. We have razor thin profit margins every year, and you can check out Complexly.Store where you can get a ton of very cool stuff. Everything from simple stuff like the Crash Course University t-shirt, established 2012. Yes, Complexly helps to make Crash Course, but also SciShow and Bizarre Beasts and PBS Eons and a bunch of other stuff. You could buy an Anubis scented candle. It's presents for the nerds in your life, right? You can also buy our 2025 calendar, because you're going to need a calendar, and you might as well have a beautiful one that supports good, high quality educational content on the internet. People love these Crash Course composition books. You can get a 3-pack for $10, which seems like too cheap, honestly. I feel like we should make that more expensive. And in fact, I'm going to email them to make it more expensive. But if you see this before that happens, you're going to get that for cheap. Jesus, that is cheap. Why are we selling them that cheap? So check it out at Complexly.Store. There's a link in the description. Cookie, Emmy, Grammy, Katie, Junior, Oscar. Well, we got Oscar and Emmy. Tony, that's another one. Pop, Cece, Mummy, Count, Meadow, Snuffy. Ooh, these are a lot of names. Mummy, Count, Carmela, Cece's Pizza, Cookie, Monster. Monsters? No. Eddie? Is Eddie a monster? Snuffy. I don't know what that is. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Okay, that's what that is. I'm pretty sure that that's just that. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. So, and like that'd be a weird one to have be a red herring, but I almost said false flag, but that's not what that is. Katie. Ooh. Pop. Meadow. Fuck, this is not... Pop, Cuz, Grammy, Junior. Those are all nicknames for family members, but I don't like it because Grammy is one of them, and that is terrifying. Cookie, Monster, Oscar the Grouch, Tony the Tiger, oh, Count Chocula. Oh no, my God, it's not Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, is it, you just miserable people at New York Times Connections? Oh no, what's going on? Junior. Cuz, Pop, Grammy. Are there any more of those? No. Cookie the Monster, Oscar the Grouch, the Mummy and the Count. Nope, this isn't working. Something like that. Tony the Tiger. Tony, the Count, and the Mummy. These are all cereal mascots. But there's no one that's a cookie. There's a leprechaun. Cece, Snuffy? Who the heck is Snuffy? What's Snuffy? That's not a thing. That is outside of my I don't know what that is. I'd never heard that word. Snuffy. Snuffleupagus. Okay, is it Sesame Street characters? And is there one named Emmy? I think there is. Katie, Eddie, Tony, Carmela. Those are just normal person names, but what are they? What normal people are they? And that would leave us, if that was it, which God only knows if it is, that would leave us with Cece. I'm not going to get the purple today, so I'm going to start. Honestly, I'm going to start with Cookie, Oscar, Snuffy, and... Wait, maybe I have the purple. No, I don't. Wait, Grammy, Pop. And then there's the cereal and Tony, Count, Mummy, something. What is it even? Because I don't know. Maybe it's not. Fuck. Meadow? What's Meadow? Oh, I'm not well versed enough. Some days are not your day. And then I'm almost certain that we have a Oscar, Cookie, Snuffy. Who else? Count! Okay, the cereal thing isn't a cereal thing. Okay, so now we've got that. And then, what else do we have? I have no idea. Fuck! I mean, I get connections almost every day. Eddie, Tony, well, Katie, Emmy, Tony. They end in E, but so does Emmy. And Emmy's not one of the ones we have yet. Cece, Tony, Katie, Eddie, Emmy. One away! Great! Which one? I'm going entirely on vibes. What else is there? The other ones are Meadow, Carmela, and Emmy. I don't know anything about anyone named Carmela. Cece, Eddie, Katie, Tony, Emmy. Should I at least get the categories that I have? No, I'm gonna get you lose if you don't get purple first. Let's go. I don't know if this is the purple or if the other one is the purple. Cece, Emmy, Tony, Eddie, Katie. I'm gonna lose. Now I have one guess. Cece is 2 letters. Cece, Emmy, Katie, Eddie, Tony, Katie, Emmy. Those all sound similar. My entire day is ruined! You can't tell me that The Sopranos are the yellow when that show stopped being on TV 20 fucking years ago. That's the yellow? What the fuck was the other one? I had the purple. I was on the purple. I was on it. What? Got back to puzzle. Carmela, Junior, Meadow, Tony. I don't know who those are not Tony. I know Tony. That's the only one I know. I had familiar nicknames wrong because Mummy was one of them. Oh, that had a lot of false flags in it. I am mad right now. And then names that sound like 2 letters. Eddie, Emmy, Katie, Cece, M-E, K-T, E-D. I never for a second thought that was Edie. I thought it was Eddie the whole time. Cuz, Grammy, Mummy, Pop, Cookie, Count, Oscar. Well, I had Sesame characters right. That is fucking wild. All right. Well, tell me at least that this was a 5 out of 5, right? 5 out of 5. 8% of people had no mistakes. 1 in a million. You lose if you don't get purple first. Oh man, that is painful. Oh, that sucks. I even watched some Sopranos, but when was The Sopranos on the air? 1999 to 2007. I was not exaggerating when I said 20 years ago. It was on the air 20 years ago and it was at the end of its production. Who the fuck do you think I am?